following breaking news as we come on the air here at 6 o'clock. Right now, we're live at two large police scenes in Richfield and the other at HCMC. We have our Audrey Russo and Megan McPherson live at those scenes, working to get all the information that they can. We are going to be checking in with them in just a minute. Good morning, though. Thanks for joining us here on air and streaming right now on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Alicia Lewis alongside Jason Hackett.
Before we get to those stories this morning, let's get to John in the backyard, a chilly backyard, as we approach the end of April here, John.
I did put the heat on this morning. It's a little bit cool. I kept the jacket handy here. I'm wearing it, obviously, but I think today, tomorrow, and Friday, you'll still need the coats. Not only in the morning, but I wouldn't even shed the layers in the afternoon. We're in the 30s now in the backyard, 33 in Brainerd, 26 in Bemidji. So we're still going to have these frosty mornings, at least through Saturday, and that includes the metro. And then we can start talking about warming up. We got some clear skies, a couple of flurries up in Fargo, a little bit of rain down here in Eau Claire. So today the rain mainly stays out in Eau Claire throughout the morning hours. We're just going to see some increasing clouds today. Not a busy day, pretty quiet day in the 40s and low 50s. A little chilly out here, Cece.
Good morning, 6:01. It's quiet out there on the roads now. I was tracking a crash in Minneapolis, but it looks like that cleared a few minutes ago. It was on 94 westbound right near Laurie Avenue, so as you're driving toward downtown. But now, as you see here from this live picture, it's fine driving toward downtown or continuing up on 94. So that is the good news this morning. Traffic flow is great this morning. You shouldn't have to add any extra time, at least for the next 30 minutes or so. But you will have to worry about construction. I know we have a project starting up already on Highway 280. We'll have more about that later on in the show. But I do want to go over to the West Metro. There's some work happening on Highway 12, a huge weekend closure. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. Let's get back to that breaking news out of Richfield. Right now, we're at a major police scene near Best Buy headquarters. That's just off of 35W and 76th Street West. There's also a large police scene at HCMC right now.
Our crews are live at both scenes right now. We're going to get to Megan McPherson at HCMC in just a moment. But first, let's get over to Audrey Russo live in Richfield. Audrey, have you learned anything new?
Yeah, just in the last half hour, I got off the phone with the Minnesota BCA. They tell us that they are in the process of working on a press release and they should have something out shortly. Now, obviously, whenever the BCA is called in, generally it's to investigate some sort of use of force incident. So knowing that, it gives a little bit more context as to why there are so many officers here. Off in the distance, just off of West 76th Street, you can see it looks like an officer taking a statement from a nearby resident. Now, a lot of the evidence markers that we could see when we first arrived on scene were kind of in an alleyway between this one apartment building on the corner and the one immediately next to it. Take a look at this video. This is what it looked like when we first arrived on scene. So again, my photographer could count about a dozen evidence markers. Now, we could see what looked like a body laying on the ground, but obviously we are still waiting on the official details from the Minnesota BCA to confirm exactly what happened, what circumstances led up to this. But again, there's a multi-agency investigation going on. The city of Edina Police, the Hennepin County Sheriffs, the Minnesota State Patrol, all here assisting Richfield Police. So we're going to continue to monitor for updates and we'll bring you the latest as soon as we find it out. But for now, I'll send things back to you.
Russo, live from Richfield. A lot to unpack there. Thank you very much. And then our Megan McPherson, she just arrived at HCMC, that other scene that we're seeing a large police presence. Megan, what are you seeing out there?
So there are probably at least 5 or 6 Hennepin County Sheriff's Office squad cars here right now. We've seen some officers also patrolling this area just outside the main entrance here. You can take a look a little bit closer. Again, we are seeing that active presence, at least 5 or 6 squad cars. Now, what I'm also seeing, if we pan over to the right here, we are currently seeing they do have this area, the perimeter of Hennepin County Medical Center, blocked off with some yellow tape as well. As Audrey mentioned, very few details confirmed at this point. It's not exactly clear why there is that presence outside of Hennepin County Medical Center right now. That's something that we're working to figure out. I have reached out to the Sheriff's Office to see if they can provide us any additional information. So as soon as we have that, we will be sure to bring it to you. But all that we can confirm right now is that we are seeing that presence here. We'll work to get more information. Back to you.
All right, Megan, thank you very much for those updates. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor both of these stories as they develop. Make sure you stick with KARE 11 throughout the day, streaming all day on KARE 11 Plus.
All right, 6:05 here. Right now, federal agents are investigating more than 20 businesses across the Twin Cities for fraud, including autism centers and daycares.
And they conducted several raids just 24 hours ago. Here's a map of where they executed those search warrants. So far, no arrests have been made. Data we compiled shows these businesses received at least $52 million in taxpayer money. Governor Tim Walz on social media posting that the raids happened because state and federal agents reported irregular behavior. Minnesota's GOP chair released a statement blaming fraud on Democratic leadership. And fraud could be a topic at the Capitol today. Attorney General Ellison is pushing a bill that would add more investigators to the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit. Republicans say they're not sure they can trust Ellison's office to do the work.
Today at the state capitol, the House Health and Finance Committee will hear a presentation from HCMC on their finances as lawmakers are trying to come up with a solution to save the hospital. Multiple bills, including one that would raise the sales tax to fund it, remain all tied up. Healthcare officials say rising uncompensated care has exploded, and it's making the situation unsustainable.
Also at the state capitol, Governor Walz gave his 8th and final State of the State address last night. Walz defended his record over the past 2 terms, pointing to programs like paid leave and universal school meals. He also laid out a wish list for lawmakers with just a few weeks left in the legislative session, including a broad anti-fraud package that's getting some bipartisan support. Walz says he takes responsibility for fraud in the state, but he needs lawmakers' help to address it.
When it comes to the next step in fixing this problem, the legislature has a role to play.
We can't fix everything from the last 7 years, but there is still work that we need to do.
Several fraud bills, including the proposal for a statewide Office of Inspector General, are already moving forward at the Capitol. The legislative session ends on May 18th.
We're live in D.C. this morning, just hours before Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth testifies in front of Congress. It will be the first time he's faced questions from lawmakers since the start of the war in Iran. The hearing will focus on the Trump administration's 2027 military budget proposal, boosting defense spending to a historic $1.5 trillion. The White House says that Hegseth will stress the need for more drones, missile defense systems, and warships. That hearing is scheduled for 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, listen up, everyone. This is a traffic alert that you need to know about this morning. Right now, you're taking a live look at Highway 280. And as you can see, nothing moving out there. That's because in the last hour, all southbound lanes closed. This is all part of a major construction project that now fully closes 280. So if that is a part of your morning commute, you're going to need to plan a new route through late August when MnDOT expects to reopen that road. Northbound Highway 280 has already been closed since April 13th, and now crews are moving on to the next phase. Over the coming months, they'll resurface pavement, repair bridges, fix and rebuild ramps, and upgrade drainage. All of this aimed at improving safety along this stretch. So drivers will be detoured to I-35W or I-94, along with Highway 36 and I-35E. Most cross streets will stay open, but Broadway Street will close. You'll see lane reductions on Energy Park Drive under Highway 280, and several ramps near I-94 and University Avenue will be shut down.